Hello everybody, this is Bulldozer Investing. Today is February 4th, 2021. It is 5:06 US Eastern Time PM. Before we begin our video, I'd like to conclude and give a couple of information. One is that now on, I'm adding on the video description, I'm adding bookmarks on individual tickers. Now we're going to review about 37 tickers today. There's a lot to cover, so please go ahead and click on the video description to fast forward, or just go ahead and toggle around the tickers that you like to watch by clicking on the time link, and it will take you there automatically. Another important announcement I like to make is that anything we say in this video or conclude are only for educational purposes, and therefore it is not financial advising or buy or sell signals. It's only technical study. And the third announcement I like to make is that I like to thank all of you guys who had watched our video yesterday, had subscribed. We basically had the most watched video yesterday on the channel. It is amazing, and we had about more than 90% increase in our subs. This shows us that we're doing what you want. Okay. And this shows us that it's a good feedback. If you like the channel, if you like the videos, go ahead and subscribe, hit that subscribe button, give us a like. If you don't like it, you can give us a dislike and comment appropriately on what you didn't like, and we'll go ahead and fix and make some touches. So now let's begin. First off, I always go with VIX. VIX here is definitely, again, is following the descending wedge. It is still not ready on the MACD, as I said. This is for the 4 hours, actually. Let's go ahead and do daily first. Daily, this tells me that MACD, stochastics, RSI, it feels like we're going to have a couple more up days. Now, I don't like the volume. I don't like the artificial pump in the market. But this formation, again, rounding bottom. And for one thing, for bullishness in the market, rather it'll be a melt up to 4,000, SPX or not. But one important thing I like to conclude is that this support level that we've been drawn, it's broken down, which means it's positive for the market. Okay. On the daily, it still seems like VIX is gonna fall. By no means I'm waiting for any major corrections or anything, but we always watch VIX just to take precautions. If you'd like, you can go ahead and insure yourself with a couple of puts or VIX calls. That's your call. That's not my call to make. But definitely we're hitting the sweet spot of VIX right here. If the support doesn't come, then we'll definitely drop the 20s. And it seems like that way, that the MACD is still curling. It's still not completed its reversal. Stochastics, RSI, both on the oversold levels, but I think VIX is waiting for the MACD on the 4 hours. Let's look at the hourly on VIX. On the hourly, it seems like we might have several on and off sells tomorrow, but again, I don't see a quick reaction on VIX. Maybe on the hourly, maybe they'll fix it in the futures session. They'll go ahead and drop the futures and then pick it up. It just seems to me that we'll look at SPY in a second, but it seems like SPY has broken above. It broke above the 382, the critical level that we were talking about. So I could see that we're moving towards the 392s, the 394s. Those are the critical levels to watch. Again, on the hourly though, RSI oversold, stochastics oversold, MACD oversold. So you might see a quick bounce from VIX on the hourly. But if we want to take a look at the long term on VIX, it's still not there. So if you're waiting for a correction or a mini, crash, it's not there yet. Okay. All the tech earnings, the big caps, large names, and so forth, they have already delivered very great numbers. Actually, I was pretty surprised. Record-breaking numbers. They're not moving up. I don't know what it is. It's like when they have terrible earnings, they go up, and then when they have great earnings, like it's just not, moving. So what do I know about the markets, right? It always surprises us. That's why I always say I don't know anything about the market because it finds a way to surprise me every time, you know. But VIX is on the watch out. We might see like quick drops or so, but I think the market has been on a good support. So let's take a look at SPY. SPY, on the other hand, it did show some bullish moves. It's actually, I like the action that's going on in SPY. I don't like the volume though, but today it was strong. It broke above the 100%. It broke above the 385 even, and it went well above the 382, which we talked how critical it was, and the previous high. I think we're at all-time highs on the SPY. Very quick V-shaped recovery. I do believe that eventually we'll have some shakedowns, we'll have some, waves here and there, but 396 is doable. Now again, don't get caught up. You'll have some quick shakedowns, minus 1% or so forth, but it seems like, the recovery, look at the sell-offs here, right? Look at the volume in the sell-off and look at the recovery. I honestly am not amazed, but it seems like we're on a melt up on a low volume. Very critical. You see how a lot of people ask me how to use Ichimoku Cloud and so forth, and the channels we support and the channels we draw. This is the thing right here. This comes with experience. Whoever says that they can teach charting, I think they're wrong. Charting is just kind of like how to learn how to, ride a bike, learn how to roller skate, learn how to walk as a, baby or a toddler. You're going to fall down, you're going to get up, it's going to be a test and trial. You're going to have to I'll do another video session. I don't want to like spend so much time about it, but I'll talk about like how did I learn charting, and then you can, guide your way of doing things. But this Ichimoku Cloud is very critical, and it was a very nice support right on the exact, dollar amount, and then it just went up and it broke above the 100% fib level, which is very bullish. And now I could expect to come down to 384, 382. That's doable because it will just reset and coil up for the next run up. I think I'm targeting 396 for SPY. I was kind of worried about yesterday's action getting stuck on 382 levels and closing down. Not on the highs. It wasn't a hammer. It was kind of confusing. But this is a solid body here. Okay. I like this candle, and that doesn't mean that we can get shaken down, 1 or 2%, but overall action seems bullish to me. I do see an inverse head and shoulder. I think it's going to form an inverse head and shoulder, and I'll tell you how it looks like. So let's go ahead and delete all of this. I know you're going to say, why are you drawing and deleting? Only reason I'm deleting these is because for you to see it more clear. Okay. I'll tell you what an inverse head and shoulder looks like. You can either grab the shoulder from here. Okay. So we might form something like this, neckline, and then go. So you could expect SPY to come back down and retest the 20-day moving average or the 9-day moving averages, and then come up, come back down. So this action right here could very well within the next 2 weeks could be formed here for an inverse head and shoulder. Okay, and then just move up. So that is kind of expected. I think the market is being very supportive. Look at the trend lines that we've drawn, and it's been very supportive. So coming back down, up, down, this could very well be what the market would do the next couple of weeks. So we'll keep our targets, and as you probably watch my videos for a long time, or the last couple of months that we've done this, my channel is pretty new actually, and I'm very amazed to have over 455 followers, and let's keep it up and just get that 1K. And let's shed some light. Have your friends watch these videos if they're new to the market. I'm sure it'll help them. And this will probably, I think I'm seeing 389 conservatively, but again, watch out for that right shoulder before we pick up and move towards 400 or 402 to be exact. Okay, so that, I think that's when I would probably liquidate my positions. But right now, it seems like we could go back and get a support at 381, and don't get scared if it does. And if it does go back to, 379, that's fine because we're setting up a mini inverse head and shoulder. Okay, that's SPY. Next up is QQQ. So let's take a look at this. Yesterday I was kind of iffy on QQQ and things didn't look that good on QQQ, and Russell was fine. Now let's take a look to see if QQQ is doing good. First of all, let me go ahead and see. MACD is like, it's on a bullish run, obviously. You can clearly see it's nowhere near bearish. It's on a strong run. And stochastics picked up, RSI is picking up. I think the next couple days, if you see the big techs getting bought, I wouldn't be surprised after such a lackluster performance on a great earnings. So Apple kind of picked up today. We'll get to it in a second, but all I see here is, as I've said, the previous highs. We're kind of testing the water there. We need to break above, just like SPY, how it broke that previous fib we had and it broke above and finished the day above that 100% fib level. I'm waiting for tomorrow for QQQ to do that. QQQ is lagging a little bit. Maybe the large caps are kind of, reach that level of valuations or the maybe the excitement that people were looking for. I definitely think Amazon, Netflix, and all the names out there needs a reverse split so that the market can pick up and move on. Okay, that's what it is to me. Google, especially, last time I bought Google was maybe, I don't know, 8 years ago. I don't know when. Amazon, last time I bought, it was in the low like 300s. Like I don't touch Amazon that much. Now, when I kept it, I would have made money. But the thing here is that the people who are trying to move the markets up, you and me, get excited about the market. We're not buying it. It's just too expensive. Let's fix this fib a little bit. So the high is 330.32. So that our fib would be right to the point. Or let's do this. Okay, I want this to be accurate. So what is the low here? It is 312.76. Oh, I'm sorry about that. What did I just do? I basically reset the zoom. Sorry about that. What do we say? 312.76. So I'm just going to get the exact numbers here to make sure that we get the levels more accurately. So there you go. Yeah. So 332.53, we need to close above. It needs a huge like 1 or 2% day tomorrow. And if it does, I wouldn't be surprised because they picked up SPY. I believe QQQ is lagging, so QQQ would be the next, the index or the sector that would, the NASDAQ, that would pick up tomorrow. Next up is IWM, Russell. So let's take a look at that. Just, checking out with the major indexes and, just getting a sense of where the overall market is going. As you can see, the internals on the Russell, the RSI, the MACD, stochastics here, the volume is picking up. Everything looks bullish on Russell, and it just like it did with SPY, it's also behaving the same way, and it broke above the 100% fib. Same candle here. On a good note, I am digging the SPY and the Russell. It's on a bullish move. Definitely, it's just ripped up, the last 4 days. I'd rather it be a low volume melt up, whatever you want to call it, but a 2% move today, that's impressive. As I've said, these candles look bullish yesterday, very supportive on the 9-day moving average. And I concluded that you should not be surprised if Russell is on a bullish move towards 226, and I think that's where we're going. So this is not even an inverse head and shoulders, but we'll see if it behaves that way as if we're expecting it from SPY. Just drawing the small trend line here, if we go ahead and hit 221.89s, 222s tomorrow, and then come back down to 100% fib, and just go ahead and move up. I believe the overall trend on Russell is bullish. Okay. Again, you could draw another there you go. It's a rising wedge right now at this point. Or you can even fix this up and make this more, something like this. But I just want to be, I'm always conservative on side of things. So I'm just gonna do something like this. Okay. So here, if we go up and have a major correction down towards the 61.8, just follow these lines. Okay. And in fact, you could even go something like this. All right. So that's it for Russell and all the major indexes and VIX. Now let's move on to individual names. Next up is Apple. So here on the individual names, I'm just going to go very fast so we can cover all the 30 some, requested names, and so that it doesn't take so much time and, Google's server like recording hours. So as we mentioned, the 9-day moving average I said if it does move in the last couple of videos, it'll look like it'll be a resistance, and it was, but it is a bullish hammer right here. I like this. I like the action on this candle on the daily, but I don't like how it reversed going down and the 20-day moving average going up. I like the moving averages to correct so that it looks more bullish than it is. Let's take a look at 1 hour chart. 1 hour chart, here we go. This is what we broke. So tomorrow, or what is tomorrow? Friday? Yeah, Friday. So tomorrow is, I think I tweeted something wrong. I said I'm not expecting, so I thought it was Wednesday today. I'm just going off the days. So tomorrow we get a, correction, and Apple goes back down to 135. I might be picking up calls. Again, it's not financial advising. I'm just saying it on my account. That's what I'd be looking for. And I'm going to aim around 150, maybe a month out. Or maybe like at least 3 weeks or 2 weeks. I don't know. I don't like to do weeklies. And I always, when I buy options, I always do like minimum amount as much as I could get. I don't want to get excited on my first buy. And then as I remember when I did the 3-bagger on Apple last time, I bought it at 140, and then it dropped down as low as 77 cents, and that's when I bought like 5 or 6 more calls. And I always buy them to boost up my, common shares. So I had common shares of Apple and I wanted to boost it up, and that's what I did. Or else I'd be buying like 50, 77 bucks. Probably buy like even, 10 shares would be what, 770. I'd probably get like 100 shares or 100 contracts if I wanted to. So Apple, I like the action. I want to see if we get a quick correction, and that's what I would, aim for. I don't like the first rips. I want to always get a double dip around this top of the yellow box, or maybe the top of the cloud. If it does, it'll be a gift. I think Apple, I always said in the short-term side, it's on a consolidation. But if you look at the daily chart, look where our targets are, guys. I mean, no offense, but I'm super bullish on Apple. So I just went to the Apple store today. One of my good friends, he wanted to show appreciation, and he got me a Apple Watch. I give advising on his names. He's really one of my best friends, and he really made a fortune this year, 30K to 500K. So just to show his appreciation, he's always, one of my good friends. I went to the Apple store, to make the long story short. It was packed. The whole entire mall was just empty, and people were in line. You can't go in the store. You have to go in line 6 feet apart. They're, being very cautious. But the only activity I've seen in the mall is Apple store. So that's Apple. I believe in the future we're going to 180, 190, 200. Okay. So next up is ADMP. Let's take a look at the chart, as I'm not familiar with this name. When I say I'm not familiar with the name, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to diss the company, saying like nobody knows about it, or I'm not trying to say like, oh, it's a bad company. It's just that I can't know every single ticker out there, right? There's like thousands of them. And this is a good chart. Very nice support on the 4 hours, 100-day moving average, very supportive. Again, the moving averages on the 4 hour is turning around to be a bullish story. I think this is well worth the shot if, very, $1.14, you could treat it as options. I mean, I'm not saying you can put whatever money you want. That's not my problem. But these names, what I usually do is, let's say I'd probably put like maximum 5% on my account. But there you go. Well, this is I'd say this is at least 100% shot if you want to. Whoever told me this name, the MACD is on a bullish reversal. Stochastics already up. We just need more volume. I guess it came pretty good high with a good volume and then got sold off. That's what it is with these names. I mean, you're expecting 53 cents to 266. Of course, it's going to get sold off with low volume. You see all these low volume here. So I believe that yeah, the 50-day moving average is going to be a resistance at 138. Another resistance will be $1.70. Another resistance at $1.84. But let that not tire you out. Just slowly position in on this. That's what I will do, or I would do. And then eventually, just every single time it drops, just go ahead and buy it, buy it, buy it. Just small increments, like go in at 200, buy $200 more, buy $200 more, buy $200 more. And then 2 weeks later, you're looking at it, you're like, you already have 5K position, and it just rips up to 100% on your average, and you make 5,000. Okay, that would be my strategy. Now, I wouldn't go near and pay like 100. I mean, I don't know your budget, right? You might be like multi-millionaire and you're like, who cares? I'll just put 50K. I'm just talking about like average income person. And these names are actually, rather than, investing in, Amazon or any, don't get me wrong, Amazon is a safe haven, but again, you get no action for the last 6-7 months, but in this one, you just put $5,000 or, $1,000 and just bam, it goes up $2 and you're 100%. So that's what it is. I like the name. I like the MACD. I like the internals. I like how it got a pretty distinctive support on the 4 hour chart right off the 100-day moving average. The chart looks good. So whoever suggested this, we're kind of in a move like this. You see the same move that the 20-day moving average was a support and then bam. I think it's just waiting for news and it could just last. It could just go like this and then bam, right? Just got to be patient with these, and these pharmaceuticals just wait for news any second, so then it just goes up. Okay. Next up is AGFY. So let's take a look at this name. Another name that I have no clue what they do. First time I'm going to see the chart. When you guys suggest these to me, I honestly don't really look at them before the video. Bearish crossover on the moving day averages, bearish crossover on the MACD, stochastics, RSI. This chart is not ready yet. I don't have too much to work with this on this chart anyways. I don't know if this was a recent merger off of a SPAC. Of course, it's on flagging. It's flagging when you have a move like this from $11 to $20. You're gonna expect it to flag, and you just have to watch the internals on the hourly. Because if you look at the daily, there's not much to even, consider. I don't have too much chart history on it. I'd look at the hour or the 30 minutes. 30 minutes could be, a little too much noise, but even for this name, it looks okay. So just wait for it. Maybe the cloud bottom around 1544. I'm not saying that it's going to get there, but if it does, that's where I would buy it. Or it could just jump right off the cloud top. Who knows? And if that's the scenario, I'll tell you the bullish scenario here. Again, can't work with too much, like there's not much data to even say anything here, but that's what my target would be if it bounces off the 30-minute cloud top, $21 to $22. But if what I am guessing would happen, so this happens, so somewhere around here, you'd be looking at a lower target, but the percentage would be higher because you're going off lower from $15 to $20, versus here you're going from 17.5 to 21. So maybe this would be a better advantage to play the second scenario, but we'll see how that goes. I just wanted to give you the bullish scenario, but I'd wait for the internals. They're not ready on 30 minutes. They're not ready on the hourly. So just give it some time to chill and relax. Don't want to do the FOMO thing. You just want to relax. If you want to buy it now, fine. Just go small increments, until, you get that 50-day moving average would be not a good signal here because I don't even know if this stock has a 50-day history. So it's hard to really justify anything on this chart because of the given data we have. But if you just take a picture of this and see how this technical plays out, then that's your call. Next up is Amazon. So Amazon had some rough days after Bezos stepping down, and it was just like I talked about, like how I don't like the way Bezos practices business, basically kill the competition and just on a loss. Like he doesn't care if he's profiting, he'll declare loss until he puts you out of business, and then he'll go back and be a monopoly there, right? So I don't even know how they allowed him to do this, but he's done this to so many small businesses. So again, we've said this like so many times that the 61.8, even pre-earnings, right? He said like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then now for the 8th time, it's acting as a resistance. It better break it above. It did on the earning, but it was for like a short split second. You can do something like this. I just don't know the value in waiting in this. And if you are on your 401k, that's totally fine. It's a solid company. If you're looking for swing plays, I don't think this would be the better swing play out of all the names that we keep mentioning. Now, pretty good support on this trend line that we draw and the 9-day moving average, which is 39.92. Clear resistance 8 times in a row on the 33.42. I'd say that if it goes on the cloud top, which is 32.34, or even at the bottom of this channel, which is, or the fib line right here, 31.58, that would be a good swing towards the 3500s. Other than that, we kept mentioning on our previous videos that this diamond formation is usually a bearish sign, so you do want to watch out for that. But it'll give you time to escape. So this stock is not going to dip down 15-20% in a day. It'll just slowly melt away. However, it's really hard to call. It is your call. I like to get in this name if it just like breaks out and chills out on this 33.42 as a support, then you can get in. But right now, this is a clear resistance at 33.42. Next up is ATXI. So let's take a look at this guy. I, again, don't know what it is. Let's take a look what it is. Avenue Therapeutics. So this is, this looks nice if on the daily. So the chart looks good. I like this. Well, what I like about the charts is this, right? If you had told me this right here, distinct support on the 20-day moving average, 9-day moving day average, and then it kind of ripped, then the moving averages cross, and right here at 391 or about like 360s, that would have been a good buy. Now, it's trying to fill the gap. I wouldn't be surprised. So just be careful on this. I wouldn't be surprised, and again, very good support on the 20 and 9-day, just like here, right? It looks bullish right here, and you just want to watch this, you just want to watch this right here and pay attention on the trend lines right here. It did a false breakdown going up. It hasn't broken above what we had drawn. If it does in a couple of days, that'll be a good play. I like this bullish sign. However, one thing to watch out for is it could go well and just like do a false breakdown and test the cloud top. So that's what you want to watch out for. You always want to have some cash to average down because it could drop $1 or less than $1. But you just want to watch out for that scenario. So I always like to cover the bearish scenario and the bullish scenario so you're well prepared for any action. I'm just going to draw a simple retracement here and see where things could lead up to. Yep, that is perfect. I like when the cloud top meets up with our fib lines. I think that this has room to grow 760s and 871. Okay. And then if it, breaks above, of course, it's going to fill the gap all the way up to 1040s. But With this name, I don't know what the story is. I don't even know why it went down in the first place and why it's going up. But the charts tell me that the next move up is easily to 760. Watch out for the cloud top for a fake false breakdown. It would be at 574. So that's your analysis for ATXI. Next up is BNGO, which is a name that I've been in and I made, pretty good, decent amount of money. So let's take a look at what's going on. A lot of my friends have actually messaged me today. I wish they used Twitter because like they feel so personally close to me. They always message me on our private chats and everything. It's just that it's very hard to keep up. So if you're hearing me, if you're one of those people, if you just request it right on that pinned tweet, I would appreciate it. Now on the hourly, it did break down below the cloud. Bearish crossover on all the averages. MACD is not ready yet. RSI and stochastics, so RSI and stochastics are still at oversold levels. I believe in the name. I believe in their technology. So at this point, I don't really care what the technicals look like because this name has been on a rip. I mean, this thing was like under $1. Now it's at $13. I don't know what level was it, the $7, or I don't know what their recent offering was. And even on the offering, that's when I bought the dip on the offering right here. I told all my friends that were buying, I said, just sell it, sell it. It's gonna come down to 17 or 7 something, and they didn't believe me, and that's when I bought the dip. And then bam, I sold it somewhere here. You all know my journey, right? I said the resistance will be here. So I sold it around like 840. And then on this, as soon as it went right in the pitchfork, I said that's when I'm going in. And I rode all the way up. Or actually, I rode all the way up here, bought the $10.55, and then sold it right at the top and then let it go. I could have bought in this $9 was a gift. Clear support on the 4-hour cloud top. It does have a lot of moving day average resistance. The 20 and the 9-day, it's on a bearish bearish crossover here. I believe that as long as this name just hovers over the cloud top, gains momentum, gets its moving or the internals gets all fixed up, give it some time, 3-4 days, maybe a week, maybe or two. Just slow down, digest on everything that you made in this name, appreciate it, give a big shout out and say thank you to the company because this thing is going to move much higher. It's just that it needs time. Okay. Now, one thing is I do want to fix this up. So let's go ahead and fix this fib. Oh, I'm going to fix this Fibonacci extension. So 1385. And then what is this low right here? It is the 905. And where am I taking this? This should be right here. So the low here is 811, which is right on the spot, or 810. So the fib levels to watch out for. Let's go ahead and delete all these yellow boxes. Delete all these yellow boxes. So what I'm looking for on this name is 1479. Now, as you can see the fib right here, there is a clear resistance here. I like to draw another extension, so you can also draw an extension from this low, this top, and assuming that this will be the lowest point. This could be another play. So let's go ahead and I like the first fib that I draw, honestly, but both could be a play. But the thing is, this is just so recently, it could move a little lower towards the 1078s. So I just want to cancel this and keep this. I think the resistance is 1188, 1257. The move higher will be 1479. Our ultimate target will be 18 bucks. Okay. Now you want to believe it, you don't want to believe it, that's your choice. We can extend the pitchfork on different levels. It might not be 100% accurate, but Let's see. I think that this pitchfork right here is spot on. And what I'm going to do is again, this might not be so accurate. Puppy Trades does this so much better. That's his area of expertise, and he's very good at it. But I'm just going to go ahead and do my crappy one right here. I do like the fact that, right here would be my long target. And it could take maybe 2 weeks. Who knows? Like anything this company does, it's like 30% move up. So I like this level. So we're looking at, give or take a couple weeks. If this hits 18 bucks, according to, how Puppy Trades does his pitchforks, it could well play out. And I've seen it so many times that it played out. But I like to be conservative, and I like to aim for 14.79. That would be my target for BNGO, and it has to hold this cloud top. That's another thing. Okay, so that's BNGO. Next up is Carnival Cruise Lines. So I'm watching these names as I've had, a couple of people keep on asking me, and you see these false breakout and then coming back in. I'm just going to take a look at the daily first. I like the chart. However, you have to move in slowly with these names because there's lots of fake breakouts. Okay. You see this cloud top resistance, even though it looked like it's above the 50-day moving average, it's bullish. Now, there's no doubt about it. But remember last time it tried to break above and it just went down. So if it goes down again, just be careful, position, and make sure you manage your size accordingly. Where it could go is we can draw a quick extension. Again, by now you probably memorize how I, draw my extensions. It's pretty good with our long-term targets here. So look for anywhere from 24.24 to 25.7, assuming that it's going to take some time. Okay. Just watch out for this because this can just, anytime that it looks like it's on a bullish run, it just dips, or something like this, like it just moves up and then it dips further in a couple more waves. It rips higher and then it just sinks down. So just be careful on this and make sure you position accordingly. Because from $20 to 24, that's $4. $4 give or take with 20%. 4 divided by 20, around 20, exactly 20%. So you're looking at a 20% move up and about maybe 10% or so, maybe 7% move down. So plan accordingly. Okay. Not a bad name. This could be this long, chart could be a cup, and it might be setting up for a hand. Okay. So watch out for that. Anything can happen, but it is diluted. It is very diluted. Just because it was, I keep saying, just because it was $50 before, they diluted 100% of the amount of shares they had previously from last year before the crash. So keep that in mind. All right, so next up is DARE, D-A-R-E. First time I'm seeing, I'm hearing this name, DARE Bioscience. So yeah, I can't keep up with all the names out here. I like the chart. So whoever suggested me, this is a golden chart, super bullish. Internals are awesome. RSI is picking up. Very good bounce. Now it might come back and pull and retest the 20-day moving average, but overall the chart is bullish. I'll just go ahead and quickly give you some levels to watch out for, meaning like where to sell. This can easily move up to, and please don't like play options on it just because I'm giving levels. This is just technical levels, technical teaching. This is where you would do start from the low of the base. You could start from here as well, the extension, go all the way up, pick the lowest point, and that would be your extension levels. Ultimate target would be $6. It's a cheap name. I'm gonna write this down for myself because I like the chart. If FUBO goes up to the levels that I'm liking, I think this is gonna play out pretty good. Whoever suggested this is a good way to play technical charts. It could come down. Again, I'm saying it could go down to 213, but with these names, you want to go in slowly. Kind of like this, right? It's on a bullish run and then it just dips. Goes on a run and then it dips. And then you're like, screw it. I've been waiting on this name for 3 months. And then I'm out and then it just goes up nuts. Now again, heavy volume buying, heavy volume selling. The volume has dried up. Just watch out for this channel, okay? One more thing I like to conclude. Like I know that I've said like AKBA for my friends. They've asked me other names and I've kept telling them, you want to buy them cheap, you want to buy them lower, and they just slowly going up now. But instead, they're getting bored, they're selling it, they're going for other things, and then like 2 months later, they're looking at it, they're like, well, we just bought and sold and we're like break even. If we just hold this name, we would have made money. So that's the case with these names. It filled the gap. It even went lower. It tested the 20-day and it's above the 9-day moving average. This will be a quick move up, and it could, because remember the bearish divergence on the moving day averages, but it still has time. So if you have enough time, the cloud top right here seems like it's a resistance. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that line too for you. And just take a screenshot and get those levels straight. So this level right here could be a resistance. We'll see how that plays out, but I like the chart. This could be a quick, powerful move towards the 327s, which could bring you, 50% or so. Okay. Good name, good chart. Next up is Disney. So Disney had very good numbers on subscriptions and things like that, I think. And when Netflix went up, it really, put some ideas in my head and said, why not? They might, but I see a clear resistance on the fib that I've drew way back, and this fib had been played. Let's go ahead and make this a little less busy. Eliminate some of the levels we might not need. The 0 we don't need. All right, so as you can see these levels, right? So 182 is a clear resistance. I like the fact that it came back, right? You see how this cloud, so whenever you give me a name and it's right on the cloud, it's worth getting into, okay? It's well worth getting into for the reversal, okay? Fill the gap, so it filled the gap and even went up here, came back, got a support at the 50-day moving average, broke above the 9, broke above the 20, now it's resisting on this pitchfork, and then it'll probably have a resistance at 182. Now, how you would play this name, I don't know. If you have it on your 401k, this is kind of like, your kid's college fund type of thing. But if you're trading the name, I'd wait a little, because I'm gonna maybe go over, do we have Peloton today? We don't, but Peloton, let me just quickly look at it just to show you. It had earnings, it had over $1 billion revenue, but then even the chart looks so good. But I've told you, like, I was looking for a gift after earnings. And did we get it? Yeah. So look at this. Okay. And look at this. So guys, you see this? You see this trend line that we just drew like yesterday or so? How supportive it was? So looking at the hourly, I don't know if it, yeah. So I don't know how the lines move up and down. Maybe it's not showing like 1 minute chart. It's here. It's hitting the support channels here, and then when I move up to an hourly chart, it's just not there, so I'm not sure what it is. So yeah, if it moves down to 140 tomorrow, that would be a gift to start a long position, and maybe the cloud top at 142. So this is a good bounce reversal, maybe even in the middle of the cloud or something. But if you go back to Disney, I'm sure they're going to have great earnings, but great earnings didn't mean anything to Amazon or Apple or even Facebook. So I'd watch out for it to see if we break above, or we consolidate towards the earnings and we come to the cloud top. It would be a worth of a shot to buy it before the earnings, I guess. But at this point, you're like stuck. It's either going to rip higher or it's just going to consolidate and come back down a cloud and then rip higher after earnings. The Disney Channel and so forth is great, but their parks are closed, so I don't know what their earnings or what the market or the Wall Street is waiting for. The MACD, the internals, speaking of internals, it's great. You see this? That's what I'm talking about. That's a bullish move. This is a bullish move. This is a bullish move. The stock is absolutely internally, it is on a bullish move. The issue is the earnings, just like Peloton. The chart looked great, but the earnings messed it up. So it's your call. You want to take the chance. It is bullish. It's your call, but the chart is bullish. That's all I can say. Internals, this is a definition of a bullish internal, guys. Look at this. You get the green bar, the first green bar, kind of something like this, you know. When you have a bullish crossover, over here though it's overbought level, so it kind of sank in and got a support at the pitchfork, and then bam, right? So this could be a beginning of the next bullish run, but you got to take the chance of for the earnings. Stochastics, MACD, and RSI looks absolutely bullish. Beautiful. Next up is ERII. So let's take a look at this name. First time for me to see this name. Energy Recovery Incorporation. It is again setting up for a bullish run. You see how I like to zoom in. The MACD is still not ready. When is MACD ready? MACD will be ready, and including the cloud as well. So it really depends where on the cloud you are. This will let these merge together and do a crossover. Stochastics is almost ready. RSI is just steady around the 50, so it's not overbought, not oversold, in the middle. I like the fact that it's on the above the cloud. If it comes down and touches the cloud at 1313, that would be a gift, in my opinion, technically. Okay, and how you would chart this is just like very simple for beginners, people who are learning. Very easy. Flag here, and it just moving systematically. Okay, if it touches the 50-day moving average or the top of the cloud, then you could expect a reversal. Again, the bearish crossover is not a good sign. So you're going to buy it at the cloud top and sell it on a spike, and maybe if it touches, you know, the 20-day or something. I don't know how the earnings are going to play out. Just judging the earnings on the previous reports, seems like the company has always been profiting. It's a solid company, it looks like. Yeah. So I don't think the financials are a problem in this company. And I would think, so you see how this like kind of went in the cloud, got a support and bounced, but there was here, let's zoom in on this. So it's a good example of what I'm exactly talking about. Just because the charts and the internals are bullish, the crossovers, the bearish crossovers on the moving day averages could indicate that there's something going on in the longer term. So you see this went underneath the 9-day and the 20. I'm not sure if this is a good example because it looks like it's a COVID crash, but it went below and got a support at the cloud bottom. Don't buy the first spike because it's always going to dip down again for the double bottom, and then bam, right? But the thing is, you get all this bearish crossover. The MACD doesn't look great. The stochastics, RSI, everything, internals are ugly here, right? Look at the MACD. This is just educational purpose, right? The MACD is super bearish, but you get a spike. That's when you sell. Because you know that everything about the externals, first of all the moving day averages are crossing bearish crossover. All the internals are looking nasty, and you get this opportunity to blow out, you just sell. However, on the other hand, very oppositely, on top of the cloud, yes, there's a bearish crossover, but the internals are about to reverse. So this might not be a crash, but it could be a reversal to the next upside. Now, if you want numbers from me, these names sometimes, like, they could be well known. It's just me not knowing it. I can get you extensions. It's just that I hate when the stocks have this bearish crossover and they just go ahead and like reverse, like that quick spike that I just showed you, and then just crash down. I don't want that to be the scenario when I give targets. When I give these targets, one thing for sure is that these crossovers scare me. It can bounce and you're going to sell the first rip. That's what I would do. Okay. And even let me just be more conservative. I want to carry this over here. Yeah, I think this would be a nice base. So I'm going to be more conservative and say that the levels of 1584 and 1639. Okay, that's what I'd say. Bounce, go down to the cloud, maybe get a 50-day moving average support, and then just bounce from there. Okay. If that's the case, so let's do that scenario. If that's the case, if it gets a support from the cloud top, then of course the price targets are going to change. Assuming, so these levels are assuming that it touches the cloud and bounces up, 1531 would be my first selling point. Okay, so that's ERII for you, Energy Recovery Inc. Next up is FUBO. So FUBO is the name that I own. Again, I'm taking risks on my Journey account, so that's, don't follow me on that. So just setting up the chart here, it was kind of you can't watch this every day, guys. It'll get on your nerves. It's like you're going over, you're like, okay, great, we broke over this 161.8 fib line we draw. We were at like, what, at one point, like 54.24, like, holy, we're going up, we're going to 56.91, 60.25, which is my goal, where I would exit my margin, and I'll keep the comments or my actual, cash position. I'll just sell the margin to, lower down my risk at that point and just, get some of the profits. But then again, if you look at the hour chart, what did I say today on Twitter? So this is the beauty of following me on Twitter. Okay. So again, this is setting up for another play. It looks like a mini cup and handle again on top of a cup and handle. So let me go ahead and pull up what I said on Twitter, so you guys know that I'm doing this for real. Let me see what I said here. So there you go. So here I posted, I said that it needs to contain, what did I say here at first? It needs to contain 50.58, which was the Fibonacci level we had right here, which it did, and it bounced and it went up to like 51 again, and then came back down. And then my second target right here, I said, cup and handle. So you see this cup and a handle, rechecking the fib line, just getting a retest on the sell-off. And then somebody had asked me, are you worried about it correcting here at all? Looking like gravestone doji. So this is why I don't like to follow the candles too much, especially on the intraday. So what was my answer? I think most it will come back to is the cloud top. And I posted the chart. Where's the cloud top? Right here. That's where I'm mentioning, right here. Okay. So let's take a look at what happened. All right, let's take a look at what I said and what happened. What happened? Where's the cloud top? Right here. Where did it bounce from? Strong hammer, got back. I don't know where it ended the day at. Yeah, it's you see how the technicals work here. This 9-day moving average is kind of a resistance. I believe that we're going to spike up and retest the 52.9. Don't worry about these like quick, 54, 53 levels. These are just wicks. The real resistance is the 52.9. You can call it 53. I don't care. But that's the actual resistance on the 161.8 Fibonacci level. If we break above, close the day above Friday. I think Friday is going to be a huge move. One mistake I did on one of the comments, thinking that it was Wednesday today, I was like, the real move would be on Friday. Friday is tomorrow, so let's hope that it just goes up and gets that 50, 56.91, 57. That's where the original what do you call the kind of got stuck. Sorry, I'm like living on a 2-hour sleep right now. Offer, that's what I was looking for. So the offer, the ordinary share offer that they've sold was originally at 57 something, right? Let's see if we can get that tomorrow. I believe 60.25, not tomorrow, but maybe next week, is doable. I think that this is a huge cup and handle. low float shares. Again, the stochastics not ready yet. RSI not ready yet. Okay. What I mean by that is, again, I'm going to go ahead and show you a quick update on these, right? When I say not ready yet, you see it's not ready. This is on the hourly, so this can, I didn't fix this. I think one of my followers, she'd given me, I forgot to fix this. She said that it works better. Let me go ahead and do that actually. I bookmarked the tweet so you can know how to adjust these, right? So there you go. Since I bookmarked her tweet, thank you, Katrina, for helping me out as always. And I'll never forget, I think she was one of my first followers the day that I started tweeting. So let's go ahead and fix that. How we do that is first you got to go to your studies and then go to edit studies. Find your stochastics. You can double click like this, or you can click on the settings button. And then she said 80, 20, 12, 13. So 80, 20, 12, and let me see this. What is this? 80, 20, 10, 10. So let's go ahead and this is full stochastic. So let's fix this up and say 80, 20, 12, and 3. Okay. So the high, low, and the close, she has the simple. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if this is going to work out and see. Okay, this is on the shorter term of like, this would be like a fast stochastics to me. Like if you were to do it, I like the full, but let's see how, this is the hourly, of course. I don't know which time frame she's looking at, maybe the daily, but I'll give this a try. And see how this works out. But when I say RSI is not ready yet, right? See this, okay? If RSI rips above this trend, then you got to move up, okay? See this, okay? And then let's go ahead and do MACD. Or that was MACD, I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and do, sorry about my phone. I'm going to have to put it on mute. So the MACD is kind of like playing around. Here it is ready. We get the green handles, but I like to look at the daily first, or the 4 hours actually would be more, it would be better. So there you go. So 4-hour trend on the RSI is definitely higher lows. So that's good. If MACD can break above this trend, that would be awesome. So let's see how that plays. Okay. So you see this trend, right? When did the move happen? When the MACD broke above this trend, and that's when we started having the move. So that's what you want to watch out for. Things can go harsh if we lose this trend. I don't see an example here, but let's look at the daily. So on the daily side of things, it changes up a bit. But again, higher lows, I like this. Okay. Sometimes people don't take this seriously. I mean, it's just I'm showing some ways of, seeing how MACD and the stochastics and RSI can also factor with negative and positive divergence. Okay, I'll explain how to do the negative and positive divergence when we have time on these MACD and stochastics and so forth, RSI, but not right now because I still have so many names to cover, and we'll talk about more technicals maybe on the time we have. However, on the daily though, the MACD is bullish, stochastics bullish, RSI bullish. This thing is definitely gonna, my target might seem too high for you, but 77 bucks, when this rips, it could go easily. Okay. For now, I'm aiming for 60.25. That's my goal. Okay, that's FUBO. So thank you, Katrina, for helping me out here. I really appreciate the stochastics numbers that you gave me, the measurements or the settings. Okay. Let's go ahead and go for the next FUV. So FUV is our next ticker. Let's take a look at that. RC Moto, I don't know what the company does, but I kind of think we missed this. It's on a tier. It's on a rip. So this is what you want to. You see this distinctive. So you see this curling bottom, and when to get in this, right? The previous high, or you can even go like this, right? So you get this cup, handle, okay, and bam, flagged and went nuts. So I have no comments to this. I kind of think it might be kind of too late to get in this at this point. Sure, you can go in tomorrow and it could have the 4-day in a row, but I don't know what Monday will bring. I don't know what the news was on this, but it just to show you the technical side of things, this is what I'm talking about in FUBO. Okay, you see the curling bottom, that's the cup, that's the handle, did a false breakout, came back, got a 9-day moving average support, and just totally ripped. And I think that's what FUBO that I'm aiming for, what it would do. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you the overall action on FUBO so you can clearly see what I'm talking about, the cup and the handle. And this is of course not on the daily though. When it does a false breakout towards the 56.91 and pulls back down towards 52, you know when to get ready, and just, the next level will be around 60.25 and the $77. Okay. So this is a beautiful chart to study off of. This cup and handle breakout, come back, get a support at the moving day average, and just totally go nuts. Okay. I'm sorry, but I can't really say anything at this point. I can give you levels of where it's going to go to, or where it could come down to. This is a parabolic move. It is just super parabolic. If this rips $44, could be another target, but I mean, at this point, it's like goodbye, you missed it. At this point, it is not my cup of tea. If you do this extension, actually, it already reached where it's supposed to reach. I think this is a more accurate fib level, because you see how it hit the 61.8, came back, hit the 100, and then ripped to 161.8. The next level will be 46. But I'm not sure what's behind this move. The volume is not like here. The volume here was a lot better, consolidated and ripped higher. So it's basically what you want to risk. Next ticker is General Motors. So General Motors right here, it's a good stock for dividend stock. It is on a bullish move. I like the stochastics, I like the MACD, I like the RSI, I like the last minute buy volumes here. It is actually, this is another ticker that I'd be interested if I had a cash position right now. This again, it's on a bearish crossover. However, all the internals are good. So this is what I like to buy, guys. Like, you're here, right? A lot of people might ask me, like, this is the bearish crossover divergence that I'm talking about. When the stochastics is not ready, when the MACD is not ready, it's just going to melt down and get a support at the cloud top. This is exactly what I'm talking about with the previous names. And then that's when you get in, and bam. When the price goes above all the moving averages, then bam, right? So what is the next move on this? This is on a, I like this chart. I'm surprised, I don't know who requested this, but I like this chart. I don't know if we're too late to get in, but I still think it has more room to run. If it has that EV play, and I think these are very undervalued names compared to Tesla. Now, some people are gonna crush me or kill me for saying this. Of course, metaphorically, they're not gonna kill me in real life, but 56, 32, 58, 11, 63.90 are totally doable. Super bullish scenario on this, what it would be. This is on an absolute tier, guys. I love this chart. Wow. I would have never even thought of looking at, I mean, you look at the recent run on Ford, right? Maybe it's GM's turn now. So, yeah. I am liking this chart. So this move could end up all the way up to 62 before it hits a resistance, but the fib level of resistance on here is definitely the $56. I think it's just flagging and might even come down to 52 for a flag, fill the gap, and then move up to 56.32, 58.11. Eventually, long-term target on this one would be 63.9, but I'm liking the chart. I love the strip off the cloud, and we missed this move. I couldn't believe it. On a GM, you get, dividend and this move, beauty. Okay. I wish I've known this. I should start looking at these names. I should have known. I think this Ford move was kind of the same thing, and a Ford's chart would probably look very similar to it. Okay. So the next up is GNPX. All right, let's take a look at it. GNPX. This was another request. So I'm not finding these names. You guys are finding them for me and just requesting it. Just as I said, we kind of missed it. We kind of missed this cup and a handle and a rip. I would let it rest. Now again, some names are moving purely on some news, so I don't know what the power behind this move is. Okay. I need to do some due diligence. It's like me just looking at the name, looking at the chart, and then I have to say something in a couple seconds. It's not easy. Okay. My job is not easy because then again, any word that comes out of my mind, I might give hopes to people or anything, so I don't want to do that either. So I have to really watch out for what I'm saying here. I think we missed this. It was a good chart. If you ask me, it could go to 751, sure, but I think it needs to retest 598 and then move next up. I could draw another extension. I could draw another extension off of here. And say 818 would be another area. But I like to keep the math. I like to keep this chart more simple, and let's just go ahead and delete this and stay with this target 751. On the upside, I wouldn't go in at this point. And $3 to 7, that's enough. Not saying it couldn't go any higher, it could. It's just that for me, is it worth the risk and reward? Okay, that's what you gotta, calculate. Could go ahead, if this 9-day moving average curls up, it could go ahead and retest it. Just like here, right? Curled up, retested, and it just went down. And then it tested the cloud top, did a very nice curling bottom, and that's when you want to get in as soon as you break above this average, and then bam, okay? Next up is GOEV. So again, this is, somebody had said, I've read it somewhere, why is this fib so off? Oh, there you go. So it could have been an after-hour move. What was this? It's waiting for a merge on something. I don't know what it was. It could partner up with Tesla. I don't know what kind of news it was, honestly. And we've drawn this the other day, I think. So it could go as high as 1969 and 2093. It had a very nice run today. Let's take a look at the 4 hours. Wow, it could flag. It broke the cloud on. Yeah, this if you wanna keep this, it could go all the way up to 25. Just for the trend line purposes, and just say this, or maybe I could take things back and get this high, get this high. So you want to watch out for this level, right? If it bounces down, it could retest the 9-day moving average and go up. It could be setting up for a cup and handle. Just this upper trend line is your navigation of when to buy, when to sell. And if you want to look at the lower channel, We could draw something like this, okay? I like the higher lows, but then it's also setting up lower highs. It's on a squeeze, and it's your call. You'll get those rips once a while, that's fine, but don't get too excited with these names because they can just, raise your hopes and then take away your hopes. I'd also watch this support as well to go up higher. But let's watch this name. I'm not really confident when I don't have too much data. It has nothing to do with the company. It's just that the data that I'm working with is only 2 months, right? It's very hard to chart names when you don't have too much data and you're basing off of things on hourly and 4 hours, where I like to see the weekly and the daily. Okay. Take this picture, make this your friend, try to analyze things. I did these double bottom play on the extension and gave you the levels. The most bullish scenario would be 31.39. And again, I'm not saying it's going to go there. I'm just saying according to the extension, that's where it's showing me. But this here, this pennant, higher lows, but then lower highs. Okay, you see, this was a high. Now the next high is lower. Now the next high could be lower. I don't know. But then if you look at the bottom, higher low, and then you get, you get the low and then you get the higher low. Okay, and then it kind of tried to break down and picked up. So let's see, it has strength. It has curling bottom. It could be a double bottom play, but it has to break above this trend line. So that's GOEV. Next up is IGT. We have lots to cover today, guys. I get really exhausted just going over all these names that I'm not. If it was just Facebook, Amazon, I know what the charts are. I could really go quickly. But every time I see these charts, I have to start from scratch. And wow, it is really tiring at times. I don't want to complain, though. Not bad of a chart. You might want to do some due diligence on what the company is doing and what the volumes are. Like if this is a low float, low volume name, it could be very volatile. I can't see anything off the chart, honestly. Besides the fact that the 20-day moving average is a pretty good support on the hourly, and the 9-day was a support, so it broke down. I'd wait to see if it holds 707, but let's take a look at the daily. The daily doesn't give me much. I don't know if this was a recent merger. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to misguide anybody by just, saying to the moon, or, saying it's going to crash and that it look like a bearish. So from this extension that I just draw, it almost tried to hit the 100% fib level, which is 780, and then it drilled down below the 6.8. If it does get a support at 683, why not? But I don't have too much data and I do not want to misguide you. So I'd rather say I don't know than I try to act like I know. Anybody who knows charting, anybody who charts, they could say nothing on this chart. I mean, yeah, you can judge the candle inverse hammer, blah, 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 but I don't really look at the daily hammers, guys. It's just like it could play, it could not play. If this 9-day moving average on the daily curls up and it meets up the 50 fib line, it could be a nice support, but I can't say anything about this name at this point. If you did your own due diligence, you believe in the company, and you want to be an early investor, maybe it'll go to $100, and that's fine. But just looking at the chart, I can't really say anything at this point. Next up is KMPH. So KMPH, I have seen this name. I'm sorry, not. 1 second. 1 second. I think I messed up a couple things here. I meant to say LAZR. I'm sorry on that. Let's look at the LAZR, because I just reviewed KMPH, so let's look at LAZR. I was looking at the list while I was reviewing things, and then it just kind of like I skipped a line, so I messed up on that. So sorry for the confusion. Let's take a look at LAZR, or Luminar is the actual company name. I just called by it. So yeah, you have the pennant. The MACD looks like it's about to set up. The stochastics MACD is still working on the daily. This is probably going to eat your patience away. It could get a support at the cloud top, cloud bottom, a false breakdown, go up. we have to see how this pennant works. It's a great setup. I think I was one of the people that I've actually came out and said I like the curling bottom. Okay, I like the cloud top support that it's been having. But it's just like you set up. It's kind of like being a sniper. You set your weapon. You're on the undercover. And you're just waiting for your target. Now this target, it could go all the way up to 56. It's just that it's coiling. If it breaks down, then the technicals break down. But I would stop loss at 28.80s or something, right? A little bit below the cloud bottom. I think the 50-day moving average and the cloud top should be a good support around 30s. Okay. Volatile name here. Okay. So next up is LIZI. There's nothing I can say about this chart. We missed it. I don't know what the move is about. I don't know what the company does. Sometimes, charts like GameStop, it'll just go to 200. I don't know, but at this point, this is something that I would probably, if you want to get in it, I'd look at the hourly chart and I look at where it's getting the support from. It's getting the support from the 9-day moving average, worst case 20-day moving average. So you want to take your chance and try at 15 bucks, worst case scenario around 13.56. Be my guest, but this is not my cup of tea. You missed the run from 14 to 18, 14 to 19 bucks. I don't want to speak bad about the company. I don't know what the move was about, right? Looking at it, there's some bias here, a little bit of sell at the end. It could be flagging to the upside. I don't want to give targets on this because it's like data is not enough for me to say anything at this point. If I charted, it would be a very vague chart and it would be incorrect. Kind of missed a move on this. I'm sorry. Next up is Lemonade, LMND. So Lemonade is one of the stocks that had high percentage of shorts, and Citron, Andrew Left came up and said this stock is moving down. That's why the stock just went down. It was on a tier. I was actually researching the company and trying to do some due diligence when it was about like 43, 44 bucks. I should have went in when it broke the cloud and just ripped up, right? Look at this fib support. I've charted this because I like the name and I believe like it's the future of insurance. I hope that they can get their financials together and make the company great and give us a new model of insurance. Obviously, the 20-day moving average has been a resistance for the couple of candles here, but the support is very distinctive, very solid on 143.11. Low float of shares, high percentage of shorts. I'd look at this trend line, and then I'd look at maybe around something like this. So, and just go ahead and see how this plays out. 143.11 is the base. You might want to try your luck and get to 163, 195. Ultimate target would be 247 on a high short squeeze play. You can fix this up. Let's delete this yellow box, and then let's try to get this trend line right here if I can. There you go. You can do something like this as well. Okay. So let's see how this plays out, but it could just very well be setting up for the next tier up, and it could hit 195. Okay. Maybe at the bottom of this channel, or even just rip up to 247, because this is low float, high percentage of short company. I don't know, the earnings are on the March 1st, so why not 195 could be doable on the technicals. This could move fast. Okay. But again, you don't want to risk all. You want to just put the money that you're willing to lose. You don't want to lose sleep on it. Next up is MUX. First time I'm hearing MUX. Let's take a look at this. Wow, okay. Let's give some time for this chart on the daily at least. Let's take a look at the 4 hours. On the 4 hours, the MACD is not completely ready yet. It could get a supported. It's a cheap company anyways, like it's $1.17. I like the squeeze play here. You can go ahead and try this play out. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, you're willing to lose, set your stop losses around, I would at $1.07, technically around like, if it bounces off the 100-day moving average, fine, which is about $1.06. If it, rises, it could be $1.10, I don't know. But you're willing to lose 10 cents on the play, but the upside could be tremendous. I think it's worth the risk and reward at this point. And it could move. So you're looking at 10-cent loss to, if it does come down here, which is a 17, it's $1.17, you're looking at, around 40 cents win to 10 cents loss. That's a good risk reward that I would take. Yeah, the bearish crossover on the daily moving averages. MACD is not ready yet. Stochastics is getting through. RSI is not there for the reversal. Wait for a couple more cents down, or if you just want to accumulate slowly, this could eat your patience away. You know what I mean? Like you want to get in these names when it's clearly there, the trend line is broken towards up. So we don't want to get in here just you losing days here. As soon as you break above, maybe even above the cloud, you want to get in at $1 and $1.62 would be around 60% move. Of course, look at this. It went up, came back down, went up, came back down. This is a bear flag, went down. So again, I don't know what the company does, but I like the risk to reward ratio here. And you can just slowly pitch in, and if you have the patience, you can test it out. This kind of would just kill your patience. Yeah, it's a good setup. It's just like you don't want to get in and get stuck in this range. You want to get in when the breakout happens, just right there, and then tear up. Okay. I could do an older, let's see if this works out. Yeah. So $1.17 would be another range that I'd look for. You could do another one here, just kind of like a mini. Let's see how this plays out. So you can test out your fib levels like this and see if any one of them fits to the previous history of the chart. You see how this was a support and then resistance. So this plays out perfectly actually. There you go. So it could go up as high as $2 if it plays out. But again, the internals are not ready yet. Let it rest a little. In fact, if I'm looking at this on the daily, I'd go like this. 9-day moving average on the $1.14 would be a good way to get in and take the risk. So the move to upside would be, you see how this fib that I just tried 159 hit that 160, so 205 wouldn't be a surprise. It's just that I don't know about the company too much. Next up is MVIS. So MVIS right here, I like the move, and I think I've charted this before. So here I did the extension and a move up. It could move up to 1242 and 1705. Again, I am not good with the name or what the company does, but what I want you to see is chart patterns, okay? Cup, handle, there you go, bam, okay? You see how the 9-day moving average was resistance here, here, now it became a support, and then the 9-day moving average crossed over the 20. That's when you want to get in. It will kind of eat your patience away with this cup and handle, but yeah, this cloud top, cloud bottom support, okay? All of these, you just want to just look at it and memorize. If this falls down, you know where to look at, the cloud bottom. You don't even have to see the fib level. If you have the 20-day moving average support here, you get in. Okay. Resistance at the cloud top right here. Okay. Broke up, came back, again the previous cloud top, support, and rip. Okay. You just need to get used to it. It's not about me knowing things. I just look at it so many times that my eyes get used to it. If you're in the name, 1242, 1705. If you're not in the name, you take your risk, right? Risk is going to 1242. Downside is going to 796. So you take your side, you do your own due diligence and risk and reward analysis, and you choose what to do. Next up is NAKD, Naked, I guess. This is a Australian company. It was a penny stock. I don't usually do these because of the recent GameStop thing. It kind of moved with it, but I'll take a look at it. So let's go ahead and type the name. Well, see again, I will never, for me personally, I don't like to get in the name when it was 22 cents, it went up to 340, and now it's still, around bucks, dollar something, like $1.21. It's your choice, but technically it is a good support on the 9-day moving average, but could the bubble burst? Could it end up be like GameStop? Do we still have shorts? How does the company financials work? That's all a question for you to ask yourself. I do not, I hate doing technicals on these types of things. However, the MACD is, getting there. Stochastics might curl down and pick up, but you want to be honest, I wouldn't touch this. Technically, I would, but then because of the recent activity of short squeezes and all this AMC GameStop drama, I'll give you the technicals, but it's your risk. You ask me the chart. This is what the technicals is. The company sells like what, bikini, underwear, bras, whatever, right? Australian company, about like 60, 70 workers. You do your own due diligence, search about the company, do whatever you want to do. The cloud top could be another resistance at $2, but I don't know. If you're invested in it, that's your choice. For me, I would put an amount that I sleep comfortable. I wouldn't put an amount that would worry me. Okay. So next up is NNDM. So NNDM is, again, on the weekly. I've shown the chart and I showed the history of this company, and I said this is on a huge bullish run for the next couple of years. And it could very well be for the triple D, DDD, and all the 3D printers and so forth. Current resistance is at 1480. Okay. I believe this is setting up for a mini cup and handle. It could go up to 1558 and rest a little more on the cloud top and then move higher to the next upside. Notice that it basically does a good job on our fib levels. It is a technical chart and it moves technical, and I wanted to see break above the cloud, kind of get a support, and I'll tell you where it could go. And we've been bullish on this name, and I said if you want to keep this, just this would be like a long-term hold buy. If there's a market crash, it could go as low as $2, $4, but that's when you want to accumulate. And I'll tell you the reason why. I'll tell you the reason why in a couple seconds. So I just worry about the 1728 level. It does need to crack above 1626. That's going to be the pitchfork resistance. I'd aim for 1728 for the short term on the 4 hours. Now let's take a look at the weekly, right? You see how this was for years and years. Basically what it did was stay under the clouds, stay under all the moving averages, and then ripped on the weekly chart. Okay. Now it's a tremendous parabolic run. I see that it could hit a great resistance at $20. And you see this resistance right here, okay? 21, $20 around there would be your resistance, and then it could, do a reset and then go for the bigger run. But that's I've given like an ultimate target of 45 to 55, but again, um, you're gonna put like $5,000, $2,000 and just never look at it. That would be the play. Or whatever the money that not look at on the weekly chart, right? On the hourly, again, I think it's coiling up for the next run towards 1728 and 1828. That would be my goal. Next up is NVIDIA. So NVIDIA here, I think it is, I don't know when the earnings are for NVIDIA. We'll take a look at it. I haven't kept it in my head. I think Katrina also suggested that there is a Twitter handle that does the earning days. I was also a follower. I forgot the handle name, but it has a nice chart. I'll show it at the end of the video because we reached above 1 hour and 30 minutes. Very busy chart here, honestly. Very busy chart. So let's go ahead and I know I worked on the widths of these, and I'll go ahead and delete these. It's just so busy. I know on the previous recording I've worked on this. Let's do an auto zoom. Let's delete all of these. Okay. It's on a huge pennant, and it has a trading range between, and you can clearly see it here. Okay. I don't know where this will go, and I don't think anybody would. Whoever says they know, because the earnings are coming up on the 23rd, honestly, this is just going to trade the range till the earning. Support at the cloud top, it could become a resistance. The cloud bottom could be a support. You get the 513 to be a support. Basically, since the last earnings call, this didn't do anything. And it will not do anything till the earnings call. And I don't think it's going to do anything on the earnings call. Look at AMD. Look at Intel. Intel went up huge, then went down. Amazon, Apple, Facebook. I don't know what NVIDIA will do. Chart just tells me a huge pennant. It could break upwards. It could break downwards. I don't want to. If you want to know the bullish scenario, I think the best bet would be the extension from here. So you can see the clear resistance here. Your best bet would be the previous high, which would be 588. I know the bullish people are more excited to see the levels, so I'm just giving you 648. The resistance side of things, 551 and 539 would be a current support right now. So that would be your areas to watch out for, okay? Sorry that I couldn't say anything about NVIDIA, because this is the issue, right? When I don't see anything on the chart, I can't just make up things, guys. I can't just act like there's something on the chart. So chart is just in the middle. It's no man's land, just like Amazon, just like how Amazon was basically, yeah. Very similar chart here. Besides, Amazon is forming a diamond, so yeah, very confusing chart, up and downs. You get all these, triple bottom, triple top. It's like triple bottom is bearish, triple top is bearish, triple bottom could be bullish or bearish depending on how you look at it. But when you have a triple top, it's usually bearish. But here on the moving day averages, it is supportive. I don't know what to say about this chart, honestly. It's just stuck on the 551, just like Amazon has been, and it's just the same chart. Next up is Quantum Space. I think that's what it was called, QS. So let's take a look at it. Let me see if I was correct on the name. Sometimes I forget these names. Quantum Scape, not space. I'm sorry about that. Quantum Scape, QS. See, this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes you get those, I respect them, I like their charts, but it's like you have to respect the moving day averages, okay? if you're drawing a chart and saying it's going to bounce, but on the daily, if the moving day averages, are bearish, you might not get it. In this, so let's take a look at what's happening here. 20-day moving average is basically your resistance, and the 9-day around 45, 47, 45, 45, let's say, is going to be your support. Lot of sell, 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 sell on the low volume side. MACD is almost ready. Stochastics is rising, and RSI is hanging in there. It kind of made its move. It raised its head. So it looks like on the internals, you might see a spike. However, I need the moving day averages to curl up. I need the price to support that. And then we could head towards the cloud bottom area, which could start anywhere from $64 to all the way up to 71. It's hard to draw a Fibonacci on this. I could try, but that would just force me to try. Yeah, I can't really read the chart on a Fibonacci. All I could do is easy targets would be the cloud top and the previous. So what do we say here? We couldn't even estimate the drop. It just went well below our estimates. So I like this candle bottom right here. Could be a support, but it's hard to say anything on this chart, at least on the daily. And I don't want to force myself into analyzing something where I can't see. That's an issue. Internals look great. It's about to cross over. Resistance on the 20-day, it could move up to 50, which is 59.22, and it could move all the way up to the cloud top, which is 71.93. But again, it's all a could, if, that, this. I can't see like a distinctive play here. It has a short squeeze or something, it could, but pretty much I just don't see, like some charts I see, I'm like, all right, I get excited. This chart doesn't excite me as much. Okay. However, the internals are bullish, I could tell you that. And if it rips above the 20-day moving average, which is today's high was what, like 50.64, then you'll get a bullish run. Next up is SELB. Let's take a look at the chart. SELB. Selecta Biosciences. So some of these biosciences are not so much of a technical play, but more of a valuation play if their pipeline works. That's the most beautiful thing about these, right? I talked about Novavax so many times. I was buying the name around like 389, okay, very bottom. And I mean, my friend actually forced me to buy it. And then I go like, I buy it, and then he's like, tell me the chart, tell me the chart, tell me the technicals. I'm like, honestly, I keep telling him, and honestly, his name is Ali. Ali, I don't see anything in the chart. I just bought it because you're begging me to buy it, and I just bought it, okay? And then it went up to $9. I've sold it way earlier. It went up to like $10. Sold it at like 6. And then he sold it around like 10. Came back around, I told him where it would come back around 650, and I told him every single move. And you guys know me at Novavax. Right now I'm master of Novavax. When it was around 110, I gave the chart out. I tweeted it. I put it on stock tweets. 110, I said it's moving to $260 within 2 months. And I was about like a month wrong. Maybe I gave like 3 months out. It was like in December. So you guys can see, like, sometimes these have to run, come back, and then the technicals kind of play out after that. When players come in the game, it's no more of a spec play. When, real investors come in and take a look at it and they weigh in, that's when you can really, measure the technicals. Over here, I'd say the upside is 689. it could come back down to 9-day moving average support, which has been a good support lately, which is 430 something. Let's take a look. Let's zoom in more. So this is kind of a play that it reminds me of Novavax. It's like it doesn't have too much technicals at this point. As far as I can read, it could come down and fill this gap somewhere around 455 to 436, but then the upside to this would be 689. Okay. I could do another extension, which would be even better. So sometimes, you got to play around with the chart. It's not always the first sight, the correct pick, drawing. So this really plays out. I could make it more perfect and play around with the numbers, but I'm so tired right now. 100% Fibonacci at 524. So let's zoom in and see how accurate it was. 524 resistance, support at 472, which we've said it could be. Worst case scenario 456, upside 609 and 746. Okay, just take a picture of this. Take a picture of these levels, these Fibonacci levels, and then you can set up your play. We're almost hour and 41 minutes, guys. I'm really exhausted, but I do want to finish it up. Maybe I'll limit the request to one ticker only because it's like 37 and it's so much to review. Next ticker is SPT. Another name that I don't have familiar. Is it? No, it's not. Sprout Social Inc. I don't know. You guys are gonna laugh. Is this like the Sprouts market that I go to? I don't know what it is. If it's the Sprouts market, I really like their products, but I don't know what this company is. So excuse me for my, ignorance, I can say. And this could go up to 75.99. Support at 64.26. Worst case scenario, cloud top support at 60.87. Super bullish scenario would be 9.49. You can also draw the trend line from the tops, okay, and follow this, okay. So that's what I could say. Again, I'm going to go ahead and fix the zoom level. You can go ahead and take a screenshot of it and play around with the levels and the channels, okay. Next is SRNE. So let's take a look at this. SRNE, Sorrento Therapeutics. Now, I am familiar with this name that I've charted before, way back when, the Fib channel could get a support at 1297. Now, I don't know if this was a COVID play. I've told the same guy, Ali. I told him to buy it around like before COVID, actually, way before. It's sitting at lows somewhere here. Went up to like from, $1.71 to 5, then went down again, and then just bam, right? Looking at the weekly chart, and I'm just going to draw where the support could be and where the next move up could be. This is my chart at this point for this. Weekly chart is actually better. So you could move back up to 1636 or get a support at 1157. Worst case scenario, you're going to come back down to this channel at 879. I don't think this is an earnings play. I think it's more have to do with, what their pipeline is and if they got into COVID or not. This could very well be flagging and then moving up to the next upside. But looking at the daily here, maybe an hourly chart, it is flagging and it could go up to 1636. That's all I can say for now. Next up is TIGR. So TIGR, let's take a look at this chart. I'm going to go ahead and do daily first and see what we can chart. It's been on an absolute tear and we missed it. Okay. Again, I'm just going to say my word, not my cup of tea. when I missed it. It could go up to 28.74. Very bullish scenario, 37.16. It could come back and retest the 50 fib level, which is 21.94. But what is the point here? If you're long the name, yeah, keep it. I can't say anything because I don't know the company, right? But if you're going in here just for, technical, like, some people, and I don't want to say they kind of deserve it when it goes down, but don't chase it. Don't go into that FOMO, okay? Especially when it hit the trend line top, let it come back to you at least at the 20-day moving average or something. Or I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying I wouldn't chase it here. Now, if I get the discount, yeah. Just like space, right? It went from 17 bucks to 33. If you chased it and got it at 33, it went down to 23. Yeah. They gave you another opportunity. You can buy it at 23, then it went up to 60 bucks. Now, if you're always long the name, no matter what, you're 60 bucks. It's kind of the same scenario here, okay? You can draw a pitchfork as well on this chart right here. And maybe get the bottom here, perfect. So way above the pitchfork, I definitely wait where the 50 and the pitchfork meets up, which is at 21.94. And the 20-day. So let's draw it. If it comes to us, it comes. If it doesn't, let it rip, and congratulations to the longs for holding it. And I'd be happy for their profits. Okay. But if I wanted to get in and open a new position, I wait for an opportunity on this name. If you're already in the name, it could flag and move up, and it could very well go to 37.16. Okay. Next up is TWLO, TWLO. I believe we did this name before. Let's take a look. I might have just done this yesterday. Maybe not, but this is a Beth Kidling's, favorite recently, and she's been mentioning it, and I'm familiar with the name. I use it for automation purposes. You can see this. Let me reset. I don't want my other. Let me hide my other thing. So here you go. I use my MFA, do an automation and so forth. So I use the name. It's every people that every people know, all the engineers and all the people who are in the tech sector knows this name. They are innovative. They are a solid company. They're not a BS company. And if Beth Kidding sees something on it, I'd give it a try. She's been spot on with Roku, FUBO, and every other name. And I like her style. Like I like that freelance, no ties to any big corporation type of thing, independent, and very spot on always. So let's go ahead and okay, that's our target. First target would be right here. I don't want to draw a box because the target itself is 406, and the most upside is right here. Okay, so I don't know what her targets were, and I'm just gonna go ahead and give my targets. I love this formation, right? When you have a double dip, when you have a cloud top formation, it ripped, it's going to try the previous high, it might come back down, reverse, and then go higher to 434. You want to hold this name. I wouldn't trade this name. I'd do a long hold on this name for a year or so. This is an investment. It is not a trading. So it could very well hit the top of the channel, come back, retest the cloud top, so it could go in waves, and it could end up going to 528. I don't know what Beth's target is, but it could be 651 by the end of the year. It can get you 50%. I don't know. But solid company. It's a good investment company. Next up is VERU. So let's take a look at this name. Not familiar with it, so I'm just going to go ahead and oh, we missed it. Look at the rounding bottom. Look at this. So this is how you play this, right? You put a trend line. Let's take a picture of it, and I'll show you how to play this. And I've seen this on a couple of Twitter, names that I follow on Twitter. So I'll show you how this goes, right? MACD divergence positive, the green bar right there. stochastics has been ready. RSI went back into overbought, and then you see this trend line that I just drew, but most importantly, you get a rounding bottom, okay? As soon as you get a breakout and a confirmation to stay on, bam. Now, would you get in this name? Is the real question. Are you a risk taker? So I am not. I don't have, I mean, it just way overextended at this point. It could hit 1504, but I don't know what the next move is. We missed it. Make 44% on a move like this, you know, take your money. Now it's only the beginning for MACD, so it could go higher. It could very well hit 1917. It's just that for me, the risk and reward, you know, gonna get caught in the middle or not, that's your choice. But I just wanted to show you how to play the setup. Rounding bottom, uptrend. I mean the trend going down. As soon as you break it, bam. Okay. I would have even sold it at 12.48. I would have had no idea it would go to 15 bucks almost. Okay, 14.59 high. So very well played. If you played it, you're gonna sell it. Don't ask me where to sell it. I'm always bad at selling. Good at buying, bad at selling. So there you go. So that is VERU Inc. Very nice move. I just wanted to show you that formation, how to play it. Now it's kind of too late. You missed it. Let's go ahead and go to the last ticker. ZYNE. I played this name a year ago, so I'm familiar with this. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the chart. It's been a while. I know I heard the news. It had like look at this volume, 83 million or something, 86. I don't know what it was. It was humongous. Not usually inside candle. I don't know what the news was. I don't know what it is. If it comes down to $4, is it worth getting into? Yeah, maybe. I don't see anything. Maybe the gap fill could be $6. Since we played it, we played this bounce, sold it, went back, bought the name for my friend, actually the guy who just gifted me the Apple Watch. He got in as soon as he saw the drop, then it went down further. I told him to average down. I think we sold it right at the 100-day moving average, and then it just went down and we never looked at it. So it's been since last August, since it hasn't been a year, I guess, but when we were playing it though, it was like June. So I saw this drop and then bam. I'm gonna take a look at the hourly and just try to make sense of it. Honestly, it could. So if you're playing this squeeze, it could happen. When you see a large volume like this, never ever seen in the history of a company, you want to wait for the internals, huge buy volumes. The next will come. You just have to let it rest. The next will come. The next move will definitely come. I believe it could move up towards the high $6 range. And I'll just go ahead and draw a Fibonacci and let's see what it says on the hourly. So the 100% is $6. The high 6, I was guessing, just eyeballing. There you go. There you go. So huge volume like this is an institutional buy. A lot of people thought that GameStop, it was all those, kids playing in their basement type of thing with their stimulus checks. No, $900 checks with, 3 million people or 2.5 million before. That's not going to move the stock with that tremendous amount of volume. It's institutionals. It's elephants fighting elephants, and the ants get stomped. That's what it is. Is institutionals fighting against each other, trying to destroy each other. I don't know. I'm not like a point of expert here. I don't want to say anything. It's going to be appealed in front of the Senate or something. Let them figure it out, right? This is what I'm guessing that it was, but so this kind of volume, the 86 million volume, is definitely an institutional buy. My target would be 511. I'm conservative, but it could very well play that $7 range if the next couple of volume comes. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know what the company's current financial situation is if they start offering. Now, if the offer is lowball, like 350 or something, expect some volatility. That's the only danger I see playing in this name. But once this money is gotten in, I don't think it was high shorted stock anyway. So once this kind of money traps in the game, yeah, they'll shake you off and so forth. But in the end, if you wait for a couple of years or maybe a year, it could have a tremendous upside. Okay. And that happened with Novavax. They've sold shares, offerings, and this couple institutions. Bill Gates Foundation was in it. They put money into it. Of course, they know what they're doing. So it ended up moving from $3.80 to $2.90. So anything can happen with these names, pharmaceuticals, but you just don't want to be caught in the middle with full position. Okay. Accumulate. Always get ready for this kind of volume, this kind of move. Always get ready for the offering. It's smart for the company to do that. I do see a cloud bottom if it does support. If you want to enter here, technically speaking, 434 cloud support loses, then you do a tight stop and let it go. The 50-day moving average would be 414, which is the bottom of this candle right here as well. So those areas would not be surprise me if it goes down there. If it moves up to this range of 511, 532, I wouldn't be surprised either. It's just your call playing this pennant. But I'd wait for the internals to set up for a next play. Actually, Katrina, I'm really I'm sorry, but I'm really bothered by stochastics. It looks like a fast stochastic, so I do this on a tight range of, daily or 5-day candle, but on the daily candle, I think this is just too tight. I don't know what the default value was to this. I think it was 20 and 20. No, it wasn't. So I don't, it's not save as default. I don't know how to go back to default either. I'll play around with it. I'll play around with it. So forget my MACD. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go to, just for your, if you use TOS, this is what you do. If you mess up, you just remove the stochastics, type here again, stochastics. I use the full stochastics full, and I'll move up. Yeah, it's 1010. Okay, I see. What went on? What went on with this? Yeah, I'll do it later, guys. I think I'm gonna have to play around with my stochastics again. What it did was I think it merged somehow. It merged with my RSI. I don't know how that happened. It could have been a glitch. So stochastics, it needs to be, this needs to go down. So let's do RSI. There you go. I think it's going to fix things up. Yep. So that's it. All right. And that is it, guys. It's been a long review, almost 2 hours. I thought that yesterday was going to be our longest video. Today is our longest video. Please, if you want to appreciate the work we do, giving all this time, reviewing all these tickers, just hit the sub button. If you have friends, families that you think they can take an advantage of these lessons and chart reviewing, have them subscribe, give us a like, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for the next requests. See you then.